I don't imagine they're going to give him bail, but but if they don't give him bail and he's stuck in jail, no bail, you're in jail. Pony up, and what the hell. So if he shows up in court, I would imagine that his if and I'm sure he could probably afford or will be afforded a very good lawyer. They will make the case that it was in court that he was brought in illegally, and that they and asked for a dismissal of charges. I'm sure this is going to be his first appearance Monday morning as we tape is today. I This is going to be a shit show in the Southern District of New York. By the way, wasn't that the one that almost indicted Donald? That Never mind, different story. But 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 here we go. We got somebody. So I mean, what do you anticipate that's going to look like?
No, there will be a lot of legal arguments that Maduro, who's filthy rich, and assuming he still has access to the funds somehow,
Right.
I'm sure he's got offshore bank accounts and money hidden away, so that won't be too much of an
Most
issue.
strong men do.
Yeah, but we'll see how much, will the Swiss cooperate with the U.S. government in blocking transfer of funds? He'll argue that there's head of state immunity, but then on the flip side, most of the world did not lawfully recognize his election.
That's true.
That he stole the election and was not the duly elected head of state of Venezuela. So there could very well be, and I wouldn't be surprised if there is analysis by the Southern District of New York as to whether or not he does have head of state of immunity and whether that even matters. The extradition treaty apparently between the U.S. and Venezuela is 100 years old. We haven't had much in the way of relations with Venezuela for quite some time. But in a case called the Alvarez Machine case, U.S. versus Alvarez Machine, he was a doctor from Mexico, Mexican national, who we kidnapped because he participated in the death of Kiki Camarena, a DEA agent back in the mid-'80s. And he was tried in the mid-'90s, late '90s, eventually acquitted. It was quite embarrassing in that sense. But the case went up to the Supreme Court about whether that was a lawful intervention into Mexico. We did it without Mexican government approval, where we did have a robust extradition treaty between the U.S. and Mexico. Right. And the Supreme Court ruled unanimously it didn't make a difference if we had an extradition treaty.
Doesn't matter how he got here, he's here.
Right. And this is here. He will receive, Maduro and anyone else, well, maybe not anybody else in this administration, but will receive, is supposed to, fundamental due process, no different from being a U.S. citizen. So there'll be lots of legal arguments that Maduro will, and his wife, no doubt, will assert. At the end of the day, it will no doubt come down to the facts of the case. Can they? I have not read the superseding indictment personally, but will they be able to prove those facts? And then ultimately, we'll see. If he's convicted, does he serve his time in U.S. jails? Ironically, of course, because we've indicted him on drug charges, and then Trump pardons the former president of Honduras for doing essentially the same.
My next question.
Well, but I mean, it's hypocrisy. It's
but does it tell you?
But it's legal.
Yeah. Does it tell you at the end of the day, even if they get a conviction? And John, you and I both covered this administration. At the end of the day, I do not put it beyond Donald Trump from going, he's done it. He's been convicted. We're going to let him go. And striking a deal with Maduro. He's agreed to give us his oil. We're going to let him go. It's best for the country. We've gone through this.
Again, I have been counseling people this term to not rule anything out and to not put anything past this president or this White House. So no, I can't rule that out. If the Vice President Rodriguez is the eventual leader, or whoever might be the eventual leader, Trump will not commit to a time frame for elections in Venezuela.